Alright, let's go ahead and get started. First things first, let's make sure we go over to private, and no HUD. HUD off. Let's go pet the dog. Anything good? Nope. Nothing good at all.
Best day ever.
And what's next? Hey Boo Boo, how's it going? Anything crafting at all? Railgun parts? Yeah. Okay. Let's just do a warm-up. Let's do no quest. Let's just go over. Let's go over to cemetery. Let's just go sneaky. Hey Reggie, how's it going? Let's be a little sneaky. We want the tiny rig, I think, right? Yeah. That's one of the upgraded backpack. All right, cemetery, and let's go. Hey Duffs. Hey KFC. Hey, Failins? Nocturne? I think it's pronounced Failins, right? Phalanx? Phalanx? Phalanx. I think it's Phalanx, right? I'll figure it out eventually. Phalanx? Hold on. Phalanx is 1, Phalanx is 2. Is it 1 or 2? Anyway, it's changed quite a bit. I would say we're still missing, like, expansions on base systems, but yeah. It has changed quite a bit. No.
We brought all this gun for you.
Phalanx and Phalanx. Foul like the gun, or fail as in like fail and like you're failing a class? Is it Phalanx or Phalanx? Second, okay. So Phalanx, got it. Hey Vad. I need you guys to get out of the way. I could just kill them, actually. I'm not doing the stay hidden quest. I don't have lots of bullets, though. Alright, I think that was the entirety of our bullets. Hey, Boo. Let's go hide from the dog roll. What the hell? It's kind of crazy how the dog doesn't like care about the civilians at all. Hey Big J, thanks for the follow. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't stop it. No. I mean, kind of, sort of. I mean, not really. I mean, like, they're friendly to each other, right? Be free. Oh, it's been death. Let me loot in peace. Wait. Glow, go. Get fucking pranked, idiot. It's kind of interesting. It can't actually... It seems like the second the door closes, it can no longer pass through the door. So there's not like a... I wonder if that needs to be fixed, right? Because it's like, it's so atmospheric and tense for like... a dog to be squeaking through when the door closes. Oh, big point, Michael. Big point. No, that like I understand why it can't pass through once the door starts closing, but man, it would be cool if it could. That or like, oh man, if it like interacts with the door, that would start getting complex scenarios, right? But like, imagine if you like try closing the door on the dog and it just puts its hand and starts clawing the door open. Oh, that's good. It seems that like their current cadence, Failins, no, Failins, the current cadence Failins, is that like they're doing periodic updates, like almost monthly, but they're making them like bite-sized, right? So they're doing a very like iterative process, right? Just every month push out an update. So like it gives you a bunch of like it keeps you like you kind of focused on the game, but it also is like a drip feed, right? I do think, Michael, they need like, I'm not saying every unit should be able to open doors, but I definitely do think some units should be open to doors. And like, it should be telegraphed, right? And it shouldn't be instant. Like, it should be very, like, clear that, you know, they're opening a door. God, I hate this so much. Oh, the hands. But, like, it is atmospheric and cool, and, like, I think balance-wise, it's important that they can open doors and deal with you. Like, closing a door can't solve all problems. Yeah, I mean, Reiji, like... It's nice in the sense of it's never felt like you're not getting content after a while, but at the same time, like, I prefer probably a bigger meal as opposed to just a bunch of snacks. And that naturally means more time in between meals, right, or snacks, but like, I prefer, I think, that over this. Granted, like, it's really just... It's fine either way. If they're looking for feedback on systems before they get to, like, it's kind of like this, right? If they're trying to... It's hard to show a complete idea for a system when you can only put out a month's worth of, like, a system right at a time. In a way, too, right? It's hard to complete long-term goals when your goals are always focused on meeting short-term deliverables. And like, the theory could be like, you can work on long-term stuff alongside the short-term stuff, but when like, you're trying to push out a patch monthly, the focus becomes that short source, like that short stuff, right? Like, you're trying to get that out and done. And so like, there's a potential that the long-term stuff, the more cohesive stuff, the bigger stuff doesn't get out ever. Yeah, that's generally how I view it too. KFC is like once a quarter is like a good cadence. Where it's not like you're stringing the audience along for content, but at the same time, like, you have enough time to cook. Failings, I could go on about a lot I would want changed. Or added in the future. I think the biggest thing is, like, not necessarily, like, hardcore progression failings, but, like, just progression in general, right? Like, right now, you'll see this kind of rhetoric from a few different types of players, right? Where you'll say, like, what's the point of playing this game? Because they haven't been, like, given a task or opportunity or a goal or, like, something to chase, right? Like, you have all the, like, once you do the collectionist sort of thing where you collect all the guns and do all the quests, like, you're not grinding generally for something, right? Except for the people who really like grinding levels. I know they said they don't want to, KFC. I would rather, like, so, in a game like this, KFC, I don't think... Like, they might have to do, like, the reason why they might have to do wipes KFC is because systems they're updating might not work with the old systems, right? And that's perfectly fair. That's kind of a given with early access. There's gonna be people upset if they ever have to wipe for early access purposes because they're reworking a system, but, like, it is what it is, man. Like, you're playing an early access game, you should know that your grind is not gonna be persistent all the time. Like, that's just you putting blinders on and getting mad about it. I mean, Reiji, would you rather have your stuff persist and never get like a complete system, or would you rather them finish the game or do a complete system and then have to wipe your stuff because it's actually like a system now? That's fair. If you like, you can be. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being upset, but like, there's gonna be people who are a bit like vitriolic about it, right? Hey, blood. I would like to leave. Oh, 100%, like, wrong guy, 100%. Like, that is part of, like, why I think progression is probably pretty important to get into the game soon, right? At least the first iterations of it, because, like, right, like, it's very easy for players to kind of lose the, or, like, kind of realize that there's not really a direction or, like, an overarching goal or chase items, right? There's not really anything hard to get. And the things that are hard to get, like you could say codexes are hard to get, but at the same time, codexes don't really have any implementation right now. They're just like a chase item that are worth a lot of money. Yeah, but like Ludroth, like what's the experience for though, right? It's 75k experience, but it's like 700k, right? But like both of those are both of those things are relatively meaningless after a very certain point, especially if you play the game quite a bit. Yeah, there's like, I mean, even before then, Ludroth, like, you're only looking for certain breakpoints. Like, extra HP is nice to have, but like, an individual level is not that big. I mean, like, 10 levels is a lot, but like, overall, it's not that big of a deal for like, at a certain point. Getting Maskman above 2k is big, getting Bagman above 2k is big, but like, other than that, it's nice little small quality of life items, but nothing too crazy. Oh, I think it's you. My thumbnail is bugged for these. I can't tell which one I have. Yeah, like so here, case in point. Yeah, I mean, but like that guy too, right? The people who care about 30 to 50 are people who just want to grind a number up, right? That number is intrinsically meaningless right now. It might get meaning later, but... And also, too, I will say, out of all the things in the game, like, the one system I can think mentally that's going to get absolutely bodied is going to be, like, the prestige leveling up system, right? Oh, man, I don't know if it's coming, but I almost feel like it has to come, right? Because it's so underbaked. Yeah, so 25 to 50 is just torture, and like, if I was going to name one system that was going to be reworked enough that it would, like, any work you put into it, it's going to be invalidated, it's gonna be Prestige. That's my bet. Now, I'm not sure if that's gonna be right or not, but like, I am confident that out of all the systems, that would be the one that they would have to wipe. But going back to the grander point, right? In a game like this, it's both important that the players are in control of when they wipe if they want to, and that there's reasons to kind of do that, right? In regards to the game, it shouldn't just be an arbitrary, I want to restart the game. And I do think, like, so one, your wardens, right? Yeah. one big aspect too, right, is like there are players, and I cannot fault them for this, right? There are definitely players who are very much opposed to the idea of a hard wipe, right? Like a Tarkov wipe, like losing all of your progress, which is fair, right? But I do think there needs to be basically, I think, two systems at play here, right? There needs, or are two ideas, right? There needs to be a soft wipe and a hard wipe. A soft wipe is what happens when you fail or die, or say, for example, like you get a canonical like game over in like the lore, right? That like the soft wipe is the roguelike. Like that's gonna be the tension. So say for example, like your innards get raided and you die. Or say for example, you piss someone off and you say for example, you had the old school water death, right? That would be the soft wipe, where like you would keep things that were like in your vault, you would keep character levels and so on and so forth, and like stuff like that. And then you have the hard wipe, which is entirely voluntary, right? You can have like soft cycle resets off soft wipes, but for the most part, a hard wipe is you choosing to essentially do a Tarkov wipe, right? And like that's kind of how I view Prestige, right? That's like always been the canonical or just the previous way of doing Prestige, like in the old school like Call of Duties. You basically get to the top and then you're like, let's start again and start over, and you get an increment of a prestige number, right? That might give you some bonuses in regards to like aesthetics. But like it's entirely not mandatory, right? For the people who don't want to lose their persistence. And they'll essentially think of it this way, right? If you chart progression on a line, like a just a linear, not linear line, well, like a linear line, right? It's not exponential, it's just linear. It just goes up the X to Y axis and like a straight, like constant rate. And you know, when you have soft wipes, you would get like, that line would go down a bit, but it wouldn't go down all the way. But the hard wipe would send you back to 0 and have you go again. So the players who don't want to lose everything won't ever lose everything, but you know, there's a consequence for failure. Man, I love the 50 cal scar. Considering the rifle nerfs too, against cyborgs, like the 50 cal scar is just the way to go, I feel like, against most. Like it's just really, like, there's no silencer, but for the most part, like you're gonna fight cyborgs predominantly, so just bring a scar with you. Scav girl mains in shambles. And as long as you one-shot headshot too, it's pretty stealthy. Yeah, I mean, I think Ludroth, I think the idea of ever losing random items from your inventory is really just kind of feels badsy. Like, at least for me, I usually do not like the RNG, the heavy RNG aspects. Like, a certain amount of RNG is good, don't get me wrong, but when it's RNG that just is supposed to make you feel punished, it can feel vastly different. And it, like, imagine if you like lost a codex to dying.
Work our way through.
Like, it would be miserable, right? That's you can punish, you can have death be punishing, but not have it be like randomly punishing. And like, here's the thing too, right? Like, knowing the consequences for death can help add tension, because I feel like if the consequences are random, it's hard to add weight to your death until like later, right? And you don't want the feel bad or like the tension to come later after you already died, because that's not really purposeful then. I think you can have it hurt, but not in ways where it's just randomly punishing. If it's randomly punishing, you don't know how to feel until after it's already happened, and that doesn't add intensity to the actual game. It just adds feels bad to the game. Like the fear of like Tarkov, right, is bringing in loot that you know you're going to lose if you die, right? But like if you never knew what you were going to lose, it's kind of hard to have an idea of like the weight of your loss until you actually have lost it, and like that defeats the purpose of having that gear fear and rate, right? That intensity. I don't disagree. There needs to be penalties for death, but like I think that's more based on like system design as opposed to just arbitrary punishments or random punishments.
Look for gaps. Maybe we can slip past.
I mean, I imagine the codexes will still be a thing, just for like lore pages. I mean, Ludroth, I think your issue, at least what it seems right now, is that there's not really any systems that interact with each other at a big level, right? Like, money feels weak because it doesn't really tie into anything. It feels like loosey-goosey. Like, there's no punishments for dying because water's been nerfed. It just, there's a lot of, and that's kind of goes back to my point, right? When you only have piecemeal, like, every month patches, a lot of systems need a lot more oomph to them, and that's generally not something that can happen over a period of a month. And it's very easy for things like that to get put on the back burner when your concern is, you know, what would they be working on? Like they're adding the new Europa unit, right? So they're working on that. Have they said what else they're working on yet? Maybe that's going to be in the Q&A. Well, yeah, there's none right now. 100% Ludroth. Yeah. I mean, it was kind of watering. Oh, not even watering away. This game has been very, very light on punishments. 100%. I mean, it can be punishing early on, but like when you can just go run and get your stuff, it's not that big of a deal. I think I was getting shot in the back. Did I not have meds anymore? Did I run out of meds? All right, that's the downside of the scar, though. Is just I got bogged out. Yeah, I mean that's another issue entirely too, right? Like we're just kind of going all over the place right now. Is like, what's the purpose of unkillable units? Like on the grand scale, right? I got that done. On the grand scale, right? There should be a reason why those units are unkillable. And whenever they make a new unit, right, that kind of should be the question is, what they're adding in, does it fit the, why the hell do you hate me? Probably the co-op, yeah, probably the co-ops on Friday. Oh, I remember I downed, Weaver. Because he got stuck. But like, no, like the question should be like, why are they invincible? And I think the big thing is too, right? I wouldn't mind. It would make sense to me if most of the guns we get access to cannot kill opals or kill units like Mother Courages, but they should still be on like the we can die to other units docket. Like it's perfectly fine if players cannot, like themselves cannot kill opals. With like the vast majority of their guns. I feel like that's how they should mainly balance unkillable units, right? It's just like, just make it gun based or projectile based, right? Like sure, your 5.56, 7.62 rifles aren't gonna kill opals or damage them, and that's kind of like the point for armor, right? Is you can like help stratify units like that. Like you can have Mother Courages not be literally unkillable, just practically unkillable. But it still kind of begs the question, right, of like the design choice behind Unkillable. Like, what is the question is, what is the purpose behind making them unkillable? Because that kind of clues in what should be done, if anything. Awesome drills. I mean, on Game Shift at once, like at least the Opals have closed pilot capsules, right? Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it. Like that's the real question, right?
I'm too old for this shit.
Like the exopilot is exposed on like the actual pilot cavity where the exopilot is exposed for Europa. At least for Opals, it's a closed like pilot capsule. So the question kind of is like, yeah, it really just goes down to the design choice, right? Like, why are they unkillable? Because, like, the why is how you would fix it. Like, is the why because the AI is not up to par yet and they don't want them to be easily farmed? Like, maybe that just means it needs to be the way it is for time purposes, right? Like, that just means, like, it's going to be fixed later and it just requires time for the AI. However, if it's the killable is a design choice because they think that, like, scavengers shouldn't have weapons that could kill them, well, maybe it's like a weapon issue then, right? Like, maybe we need to make sure we stratify the weapons or like calibers to make sure that they can't kill those units, but also make them killable by other entities like tanks. And like maybe, for example, too, just it could be a very simple reason of I don't want my cool unit to die. It should be more powerful than a scavenger. So like, it kind of harkens into the, like the scavenger shouldn't be able to kill these guys by themselves. So like maybe the way you can do that is you make them rarer. You make like you remove them from being so very common on maps, I feel like, and you make them insanely deadly. And you can make them still killable, like you can make them killable, right? But you make them so deadly that it would be nigh impossible that they would not die to a scavenger wouldn't die to them. And you have the rock problem, right? But like, you just give them tools around that. Granted, that requires lots of work. But no, it all just kind of harkens back to like, what is the reason they're currently unkillable? Oh, for sure, right? Like, yeah, 100%. I actually... So there's an issue right now with the grabber where... Well, like, it's more than that though, right? It's like, it's hard to kill, but like, they need to have the appropriate level of deadliness too, right? They're not supposed to just be like some concrete slab that's hard to destroy. It needs to be very lethal, right? And like, going back to the grabber, right? The grabber currently has an issue where it can double swipe you. And what I mean by double swipe is that for a character above 2k HP that should be immune to the grabber's grab attack, it can like swipe at you with its normal attack, deal enough damage to you to knock you below 2k, and instantly trigger the execute. So essentially, it removes the 2k threshold, really, right? It makes it irrelevant. And very clearly that's a bug, right? Like, that's 100% not intentional. But, like... Hey, Captain. Is my voice... Hold on. Give me 1 second, sorry. No, that's not it. That's not it. Hold on. You know what? Chat's off for today. No chat for anyone. I'll fix it later. I don't know why YouTube's... I tried resetting it earlier. Thanks, Captain. I don't know why YouTube's not showing up on the actual overlay anymore. It just suddenly stopped working. So I get to have fun with that later. We get to have no HUD and no chat. You can all talk to each other via just the chat box. Sorry, Twitch and YouTube. You have to talk to each other.
All or nothing.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with YouTube though. I mean, it's... I will say, this is a free service. Like, it's, what's it called? It's called Caster Labs. But it's just, it's free and it's nice. My bed's okay, I do. It's fine as long as you could read our messages.
The extra weight.
This isn't like that kind of chat. No, but I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll keep responding to them, right? I can see them on my own chat logs. Just anyone watching on Twitch wouldn't be able to see your guys' messages on YouTube and vice versa.
Look for gaps.
I'll try to be referential though, too. Anyway, where were we? Okay, yeah, going back to the grabber, right? So... It kind of makes it like, should the grabber just be... Is the way of making the grabber deadly... I made a mistake, I don't want to actually... Oh god, shield officer. Well, too late for this. Is the way of making the grabber fair just assuming it can grab anyone and execute them, and just adding ways for players to deal with that? Like, you make their attack the... Essentially, Sludroth, yes. I saw a cool thing, I was like, I'm gonna do the cool thing, and I forgot the consequences for doing the cool thing. It's just, you know, embracing the fact that the grabber is going to be a one-shot kill. No matter what your character's HP. And just giving characters a means around that. Like, don't make it character-based in regards to, like, their HP. Just make it character-based in regards to... Stop turning the HUD back on. Curse you, shield officer. Why is it so dark now? What the hell? Anyway, it came back. Well, it's not about that game shit. It's not about map design. It just goes into actually... segregation, Michael, nice. Yeah, in regards to the chat. It's more in regards to just having it, like, the unit be interactable in some way. Don't get me wrong, like, the maps are like, the maps... Well, no, that wasn't just getting, that was the game getting darker for me, not just the stream. Hey, wait, did it get darker though? Hold on here. Hold on. Hold on. What the hell? Hold on. Hold on. It's like pretty washed out. That's still kind of dark. Hold on. I can fix this. Please don't kill me. I said don't kill me! I'm fixing the color correction! You're being inconsiderate. I actually had color correction on. It looks like it got zeroed out. This is probably a good spot. I would say this is probably pretty good. Like, the dark areas are darker for you guys, but like that's also just because I'm looking this at like the different monitor types too. I think this is fairly bright, right? Yeah, like this looks fine.
Way too hot here.
If I up the gamma a lot more, it starts getting washed out very quickly. I think this is serviceable. Yeah, I don't know why. I actually had it on a higher, like a decent value. I think it got reset. Something just go. Everything's broken. Twitch, like YouTube's chat's broken, OBS is broken, everything's broken. I gotta fix everything. I like my eyes, so I do not use HDR. My retinas enjoy thanking me. No, I tried out HDR and then I played Doom, and if you're unfamiliar with Doom, I need to leave. Oh my god. Leave me alone. Jesus Christ. If you're unfamiliar with id Software games have a white splash screen at the beginning of the game, like the load game, and it literally, when you're playing with HDR, flashbangs you. It is quite miserable. I don't have a dog now. If I was going to get a pet, it'd be a dog. But no, that's what I was like, the point of like, I'm not gonna play with HDR, I'm good, thanks. And honestly, with an OLED monitor, I don't think you have to. I don't really fuck with cats. I don't want to like have a pet that has like, that can just be bitchy. I want a dog that's like a pet that's just affectionate by default, or just like, you know, cats can be really like, you know, catty, right? I'm not looking for like another person, I'm looking for an affectionate dog, or like a dog I can play with, right? And cats just seem so much more temperamental. Alright, well that was lots of murder.
Fighting is too heavy. Keep low.
Yeah, like the way, like I kind of like think of it, Ragey, in the sense of, if you want another living creature in your house that's its own, like its own thing, that can just do its own thing, it's a cat. If you want like a companion, it's more of like a dog. Like, I'm not saying cats can't be loving, it's just that almost by default dogs are unconditional. Yeah, cats are much more like roommates. And you can love your roommate and they can love you back, but it's not a given. And that being said too, like you can, to a degree, also, you can't directly control the type of dog you get, but you can have better indications, I feel like, on a dog as opposed to a cat, I feel like. That could be wrong too, I just know a lot more about dogs than cats. But like, say for example, like if I wanted a chill dog, or a dog that was like, doesn't require a high like lifestyle or a lot of work, I wouldn't like, say for example, get a husky. And like having that knowledge means I can like filter down a type of dog. So I think 3's gonna be back over here, if I recall. Also, the shield officer's around here somewhere. I haven't seen them yet. Well, I think Chihuahuas... well, I don't know about Chihuahuas, too, but, like, I know they can be giant ass or small little assholes. Well, is that KFC? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? And also, I mean, KFC, you can get couch potato dogs. In the middle, John, I don't really like the petite dogs, and I don't really want to deal with, like, a Kangal or, like, a dog that will eat its weight in food every couple days. So, like a dog around the size of a husky is probably pretty good, right? Like, maybe a lab, but, like, I think labs would, like, get on the too big side, too. Yeah, that's what I mean, like, right, in the sense of, yeah, Chihuahuas will still love their owners, but just hate everyone else. Yeah, 100%. I just know they can be tiny little assholes. But, like, around, like, a Rottweiler, like, lab, like, somewhere, like, not like a giant dog, like a guardian, like a livestock guardian. But, like 50 to, like, 80 pounds, probably. No, like, if game shift, if I got a husky, you would never see me again. Because, like, that's always, like, my reservation about getting a dog, is, like, I want to make sure, like, it's, like, I am not, like, taking care of the dog, right? Like, giving the dog, like, the proper, like, the worst thing you can do, right, is get a dog and not care for it. And so, like, if I got a husky, you would never see me again, because I would literally be spending all my time outside. Oh, hey. With the husky. Well, I mean, like, not all, like, lots of huskies can be vocal. They're not all vocal, though. It's just kind of the stereotype. Just see the flying containers. We have a few casualties here. Did any of them make it? Did any opals make it down? I don't think so. No, they're all dead. I mean, John, that's kind of not 5 times a day, but like if you have a high working breed or high drive dog like a husky, then yeah. Because like if you don't give them that energy, they get destructive. Like just various pieces of loot, nothing that big really. The their codex containers don't, I think, spawn when they insta die. They only spawn when you kill them. Hello. But like, no, you can get like a couch potato, like labs are generally like actually great family dogs for that reason, right? Like, sure, you should walk and exercise your lab, but labs will like generally be pretty okay with being lazy as shit sometimes. It does depend on the dog itself, like they're always gonna have their own personalities, but like there are plenty of lazy labs. That's usually a big thing with labs too, right? Is like they're so food driven and they're so willing to be lazy that like they're usually very disposed to gaining weight. Well, KFC, that's one of the usually the hallmarks of like a dog not getting the proper stimulation or like exercise or just general like socialization is they get anxious, they get kind of destructive, right? I think it's the same thing with humans too, or most animals, right? Like, imagine how self-destructive you get when you get bored. Like, just think of drinking, right? Like, drinking is a self-destructive behavior, but it helps you get through being bored. I mean, not eating a couch KFC, but have you like never made a pillow fort when you were younger? Have you never just like started messing around with things when you got bored? Like, sure, like they don't have hands, so they use their mouth, right? That's how they explore the world and like, you know, do things. But because, you know, us apes have hands, we solve boredoms other ways. Hell, I'm sure you can think of multiple ways you solve boredom, right? That aren't really, like, that probably aren't healthy. And it's just the, like, you know, dogs don't have the ability to do that, right? So they don't the capacity mentally to do that, right? So they have their own ways of stimulating themselves, right? By, you know, eat couch. Yeah, there you go, Alice. Yeah, adopting too. Grandpa dog, just yeah. And like that's usually like my reservation with cats too. I know there are breeds of cats and like behaviors of cats, but like I'm not sure if there's like cat people. Correct me if I'm wrong here, right? Like I know like there's like different types of cat, like Maine Coons and like Bengals and all that good shit, right? But do they have like personality characteristics that go with that, like dogs do? Because you will have dogs that are bred to be a certain like personality too, right? They'll still have their own, but like they'll have a weight. Yeah, so like, well, like I can get a dog and have an idea what I'm asking for. I don't know if I can ever like get a cat and know what I'm getting. Run ammo. That's how to leave. Yeah, that's kind of how that's my mental image, KFC, right? Is cats are for the most part like an RNG box, so just like you never know what you're gonna get. I made a mistake. Oh god. All right, right around the rig. There we go. Don't smack me. I have a family.
Easy day.
Well, that's a big thing too, Michael, right? Like that kind of shows you, like when you get a pit bull puppy, right? Like that is to a degree like a responsibility on yourself to make sure you socialize that dog, to make sure it's well socialized, to make sure it's friendly, to make sure it's not gonna go start biting people. Because like that's the thing, right? Is like nothing can solve the fact that pit bulls have a very big, like large bite force, but you can control that the fact that like they'll never bite anyone because of the socialization. All right. But no, I've considered like, I don't think I'd get a pit bull, just because I feel like it would be like a higher drive dog. I could say like, I've had family members with labs before, and I like labs. Don't get me wrong; they would probably zen out a bit, but like labs do kind of have that like they're affectionate to like a fault, right? Sometimes, which is like so like not a bad thing to have, but like when you're just like my uncle's lab, right? Very sweet lab, but like when I was visiting them, the lab was just like non-stop, just all over me. It was like, all right, lab, chill the fuck out and let me visit with my uncle. I love you, I'll play with you, but like, you've been doing this like the last 12 hours, man. I know I'm not here very often, but chill. Yeah, exactly, right? So a dog that's affectionate, but like not like literally endless. I wouldn't say like I don't have a problem with the size of labs. Oh no, I'm very good at tiring out dogs. One of my pets was a when I was younger, right, still with my parents, was a West Highland Terrier, and like she loved to play soccer, and so like I could tire her out so quickly with soccer. Sorry for Europeans football. think this is silence. We're gonna assume you were silenced. Just 200 works. Wait, what? Oh, is that a type of cat? I'm unfamiliar. Oh, Siamese? I thought that Siamese are the ones that are hairless. Are there multiple? No, but I've thought of Roddy's. I've thought of. I had to go look at the KFC. The KFC. I had to go look at KFC's tier list of dogs or just dogs. No, AKC's, not KFC's. That'd be the very wrong thing to look at. Oh, Shepherd, German Shepherd. Very stereotypical dog, right? But like you can get. Now, I would say, like, German Shepherds are probably a bit more in the mix. You can get, like, you do have to socialize. Well, KFC, it's more in the sense I'm thinking of Kentucky Fried Chicken and, like, the implications of having a dog list on that.
Pick your targets.
Yeah, like, German Shepherd's an RNG box, right? Like, you know, you can get overprotective ones, you can get ones that are just like lovey-dovey. So like it is like that's the concern, right? Is like I get in like an overprotective one or one that like has a high work drive, and not like I want like a lovely dewy, like and somewhat active shepherd. But yeah, they do to a degree too. But like you also do have issues, right? Where like my sister goes and volunteers at a golden retriever rescue. On the weekends, and like they have tons of golden retrievers that got returned or got dropped off because they just didn't mesh with the family, right? So there are instances, right, where even a golden retriever, the fucking family dog of all dogs, will like have a personality where it does not mesh with the owners or the family. Well, Golden's gonna be slobs too. They can also just have like, you know, their own personalities. I mean, one of the few dogs I got bitten by was a Golden. Granted, like I was young at the time and deserved it, but like one of the few dogs that has ever bitten me in my life has been a Golden Retriever. Like they have the stereotype of being like great family dogs and lovey-dovey, but they're still dogs, right? They still have personalities and you can still piss them off. It's hard to do it, but you can do it, especially when you're younger. I will say, like, the dog bit me, but like it didn't like bite. It was like a you're pissing me off kind of bite, not like a I'm here to harm you scratch like a cat. I've always seen like all the posts of people getting wounded by their cats and having like scratch marks all over them. Oh, you know what I wouldn't get though? Man, like that's a big part of like when you get a puppy too is like you need to make sure like socialization too, and making sure like if you see any traits of like food protectiveness, you force that out immediately, right? You never want a dog that's protective about food. Because like the few instances I've had with like generally aggressive dogs is when like the owners or the breeders do not get that trait trained out of them. And like when you are a stranger approaching like them doing anything related to food, they get hostile immediately. Essentially what I'm saying is I've gotten bitten by a dog before, a blue heeler, my uncle's dog. No, my other uncle, my mom's side uncle, has a blue heeler that they rescued, right? And like apparently it was in the forest, so like it never like it was probably surviving and had a very high protective food drive, and just protective drive, they drive against, you know, family too, right? And like I literally just went to go shake my uncle's hand, it bit me. Like that's how overly protected. The dog has chilled out with time. It was still pretty young when it bit me, but like just like that level of protectiveness where like there's no tension, right? We're just shaking our hands and the dog bit me. And nothing will get me like to never trust a dog again like that, right? And like, I mean, it's, I've met the dog multiple times after that, right? It's zenned out over the years, but like, I still intrinsically just do not trust that dog ever. That's kind of the issue, right, with rescue dogs, is they're traumatized, and like, that shows you how important, like, when you get a puppy, right, or get a dog, like, that's young, like, it's so important that you socialize them and train them, right, because the foundational years. And like, that's, for example, if I got a husky, which I would never do, but like, if I got a husky, you'd never see me again because I'd be busy making sure that dog is well trained. Yeah, they're too lazy to give a shit anymore. Hold on. There was... over here? I think it was the mission complete noise. There is like a very subtle, like, I'm not sure if it's guitar or something. There's like a very subtle riff that, like, as the mission complete sound plays out, you can like barely hear it in the background. I might just be going crazy though. Oh, for sure. I mean, like, for example, Game Shift, going back to my sister who volunteers on weekends at Golden Retriever Rescue, right? They have certain classifications of dogs and their temperaments, right? So, like, they'll have, like, red dogs, yellow dogs, and so on. It's like orange dogs, kind of giving an idea of, like the personality or, like, the traits and how hard this dog is to handle. And so for, like, newer people at the rescue, they might give them, like, only yellow dogs. But like people who are more okay with it, are more trained on how to deal with aggressive dogs or dogs that are very highly temperamental or have issues, they're going to give them red dogs, for example. Your dog's Aquarius, can't take it, yeah. What's your dog's astrological sign?
Kleenex, best thing in life.
The heck? The heck is an Aquarius dog? The heck, yeah. I'm assuming it's pronounced the heck. Like the heck. I couldn't even name to you all the astrological signs. can't even tell you what I am. And no, I'm not gonna tell you my birthday. We're not doxing me. What map should we do next? Nighttime stairway. Is there only 5? Really? I thought there was like more than that. Yeah, there's more than that. Okay, I was like, I thought there was like, isn't there like a one for every month? Or is it less than that? Is it like 8? I don't have no idea. Genuinely have no idea. Maybe it's. Did they close the question channel yet? Maybe we should go ask what the scavenger signs are. That's a great question, right? That's a high quality question. What are your scavengers' astrological signs? And if they can't answer, we riot. Let's do some gunhead. Oh, so your alternative, Ludroth, is asking them their birthdays? What are your guys' birthdays? Or what are the characters' birthdays? When was Gunhead born? Do you consider his birthday his latest code change, or his birthday like the first his the very earliest code he has? RPD. Let's go RPD. Why not? Let's go for a bad gun. Go back some 7.62 real quick. We don't need meds where we're going. We're getting a few drills though. Why would you want to? No, Reggie, you don't want their debit card. You want their credit card.
Unit 7 and
Debit card means only for a debit card, right? You can only get the money that they have. With a credit card, you can get the money that they don't have. Gotta think big. Oh, it doesn't matter, Reggie. Either or. Yeah, that's gonna be like the one short I have. I'm gonna create a Kilpo Shorts channel, and I'm gonna put that short on it. It's just like me giving fraud advice. That's just like the only ever short that will be on there is gonna be the fraud advice short.
in order of priority.
I feel like though, Game Shift, there's gonna be a lot of checks at a mortgage title though. Like, if you get their credit card info right, it's gonna be, hey Art, just playing around, Art. No, but like, yeah, like, the credit card's the perfect mix of like convenience and ease, and also like not getting checked. Like, if you're gonna fuck with their mortgage, I think they're gonna care a lot. Like, they might check your background before you do a mortgage thing. Who would I know though? The credit card, you can just go swipe it and put your info in, and then you're good for the most part. You'll probably get flagged, but apparently. I feel like all I'm saying, I think the perfect mix is a credit card, right, too? And weirdly enough, also, if you do the debit card, I think you're under a lot more risk as the person getting defrauded than a credit card, right? Most credit cards aren't going to hurt you. At least mine won't. if I submit a claim like that I say is fraud, right? But if it's a debit card, right, like that money's out of my account. It's gone. And going through the processes of getting that back would be a lot harder, I feel like. And incentives too, right? But yeah, like also just because like as long as you're responsible for paying off your credit card, the credit card I think is better, right? You get rewards. The only problem is like if you use a credit card, like remember I use a credit card to float money, but like you pay it off immediately, right? You know, you don't float money for long periods of time. Yeah, Michael, for sure. And generally the way I've always been taught to, and the way it reads to me, is that like, if you get your debit card stolen, it's a lot worse than if you get your credit card stolen, right? When you get money stolen from you that's actually your money, it's a bigger deal than if someone gets money stolen from them that you don't technically owe them because it's not you. Yeah, I mean, the credit score thing is kind of a sham, though, I will say. At least it feels like one, right? There's always been, like, the stigma with credit scores where having too good of a credit score is bad. Or, for example, right, one of the worst things that can happen to you, right, is, like, say, for example, you have a credit score and you pay off all of your debts. Like, you no longer having active debts on your credit card or, you know, credit score is a bad thing, right? Which is such a, like, kind of perverse thing, right? In the sense of, they want you to see that you have active payments and you're paying them. And it's actually worse if you have no debts. I don't know, Michael, I wasn't able to get, when I went from debit card to credit card, I had to like get a starter credit card first. Like I wasn't, like, my debit card didn't matter at all. They just gave me like a very small credit limit on a credit card. I was able to build that up. Yoink. Yeah, I mean, I still have a debit card. I don't really use it at all, though, because I usually have to float money a lot more than debit card would allow to. Nothing in here, right? Yeah, not really. Should we do the towers? Let's go to the towers. We're here, might as well go ahead and do them. That's a really fair approach too, John. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I feel like it's more hassle, John, but at the same time, as long as you're using the full amounts. I mean, I definitely think, like, generally speaking, I will say, right, that's always been when the public sector has, like, needed to step in. Like, you know, like, public sector is always for when the private sector is unwilling to do something, right? But, like, no, there needs to be methods for people to build up credit score, I guess, that, like, are, like, easily accessible, right? Prove that you're responsible. You barely buy anything online. Good for you. I cannot say the same. I mean, you'd be surprised, Ludroth, in America. when these companies are for profit, right, they actually really only make lots of money when you go into debt to them. They start charging you interest, right? So, like, they actually want you in this weird spot where you can pay it back, but not fully. So they can constantly squeeze you for interest. All right, Mr. Legs. Yeah, I mean, that's what credit cards are like. They're illegal loan sharks, yeah. I mean, to be fair, like, they're a necessary evil, right? Because if, like, the whole thing with loan sharks, right, is loan sharks are going to exist no matter what. And if you make credit cards or credit companies like that illegal, it just means more of those, like, kind of, like, people are going to pop up, right? Who are maliciously, you know, twisting the knife. At least this way you have regulations.
Initiating protocol 726. Close combat. Authorized.
Yeah, I don't know, Oni. I'm always... You know, in theory it sounds fine. I'm not gonna think about it too much, but like, I'm always concerned about the over-centralization of data. You could say it's already here, right? But that doesn't mean we should, you know, acquiesce fully to it anyway. Oh yeah, Arch, the good old sits. We'll just, you could just say Palantir. Leave me alone, no! Very good. Yeah, I mean, like, there's, yeah, some companies already have, like, plenty of data about you anyway, right? That's a perfectly fair viewpoint. It doesn't mean, I think you should just, like, fold and acquiesce immediately, though. Just because things are bad doesn't mean you should be okay with them being made worse. I mean, you say that, Ludroth, but at the same time, I would not be surprised if you're very indicative of, like, the general audience for this game and lots of games, right? Middle-aged, like, you know, adult male from, like, you know, 25 to 34 or 5 to 45, what the brackets are. Because, like, say what you will, like, that's a key advertising demographic, right? Like, that is generally the, like, that is why ad companies love that demographic, right? When they're making a product tailored to that demographic, because that demographic has lots of money. Or, sorry, lots of disposable money, right? But, like, the thing is, too, like, the less centralized that data is, Ludroth, the less useful it is, right? So having just barriers in between your data is very important. It's, for example, why, like, you know, there's HIPAA, right? Which, if you're unfamiliar with HIPAA, I've had to work with it quite a bit in the past for my jobs. the Health and Insurance and Privacy Act, which was something like that. I can't remember the exact terminology. Essentially, it means that like your medical data is highly regulated and controlled, and there's very large penalties for misusing that data. Like criminal penalties for misusing that data. And so, like, for example, data like that you won't find publicly available, right? Unless the person consents to that data being publicly available. It's an opt-in, not an opt-out. Like, you're just given to those rights to not have your public, like your public or your private health data just put everywhere. Hey Mika, I have not heard of that at all. But like in that regard, Ludrop, that's a reason why that barrier needs to exist. Because like if you can imagine if like for example, like a centralized company had that like your personal data plus your healthcare data. Imagine if you just try to get served ads constantly for pharmaceuticals that seem to specifically know what's going wrong with you, right? Wouldn't that be fun? Ignore all the side effects that they have to say. No, I don't think so. There's not been any quests recently. You're already getting targeted ads, but like there's targeted ads and there's personalized targeted ads, right? Like, how invasive are you? Like, just because targeted ads are bad, do you really want them to get worse and have them start targeting, you know, health factors about your life? Like, for example, like a rare genetic disorder you might have, or for example, if you have an STD. Say, for example, if you go get tested for an STD, right? And like, there's not a privacy act in place and they just go put that data on the internet. Like, you know, this person has an STD. And now you're suddenly getting like blasted ads on your television saying, hey, you should go get this medicine for your STD. In front of your family. But it just shows you like the importance of barriers, right? I mean, would you really put that past pharmaceutical companies though, if they could target you like that? All in the name of profit, right? They wouldn't be doing their due diligence if they weren't trying to milk you for your money. You're the exact audience they're looking for, right? A person under a certain disease. Why wouldn't you be interested in this ad to fix your issue? It might not work on you exactly, but it might work on a lot of people like you, or like with the same disease. Where's my big boy foul? .308. Bring a shotgun too. We'll bring like this is like a backup, I think, just for cyborgs. Mainly gonna be foul. I don't think we need to drill anything for here. Maybe an opal dies, but that shouldn't matter. We're commander, tech, and then extract. Okay, bear with me here. Bear with me. I know. Okay, this is probably gonna be very vastly unpopular, but bear with me. So, are they just like mowing the lawn every 3 days? It's ridiculous.
Everyone tells a slightly different story.
All right. So ad blockers. I'm gonna get so much fucking flack for this, but just bear with me for the theory and rhetoric, right? This is about YouTube, but it's more wider than that. And I don't run YouTube ads on live streams anymore just because it's so pervasive now. But if you haven't heard it, right, YouTube's been cracking down on ad blockers a lot, right? right? So like you know, they're like making sure that like if you're watching YouTube, they can serve you ads. Blah. They know. Shit. They found me out. I'm actually going to, I mean, Blood, I'm actually I'm arguing on their side. Weirdly enough, whether the rhetoric I'm going to be talking about is kind of aligned with, I think, the problem that they're having, right? Video hosting is really fucking expensive. And they provide so much in regards to a service, right? They literally give you pseudo free TV. Okay, bear with me here. And for every user that has an ad blocker and doesn't pay for premium or some subscription service, right? That is costing them money. Which means for the people that don't run ad blockers, or basically the people who don't run ad blockers, right? To make up the money lost from people who do use ad blockers, they have to serve those customers more ads to make up for the loss. In a way, like rhetorically, the people who use ad blockers cause YouTube to have to monetize the ones who don't more, which means those users get served more ads, which means they probably want to go use ad blockers themselves because it's so pervasive, and the cycle can, it's a feedback loop, right? Because YouTube is trying to make sure that they're you know, they're making enough money to, you know, keep YouTube up and running, or, you know, make money because they're a for-profit company, right? And I will say this, right? I don't trust in YouTube to just not be a profit-making machine. Like say for example, if no one ran an ad blocker, right? I'm sure YouTube would still serve more ads over time because they need to make more money because capitalism. But I feel like it's worse because, I mean, Blood, you can say that, right? Think of it this way though. If YouTube was still its own entity, like detach YouTube from Google. If YouTube was a standalone service, right? Would you be more okay with paying them for their service they're providing? Like, keeping this in mind, like, if someone, like, nothing is ever free, right? Well, like, Michael, it's just like television, right? Like, here's the problem. Okay, imagine if we had a platform with no ads. Okay, let's frame this in a different light. Imagine if we're starting up our own YouTube, right? Like, let's ignore YouTube entirely. Let's say we're starting up our own video hosting service to compete. And we're not going to mention YouTube at all, right? And say, for example, like, how are you supposed to support the, like, how are you guys suggesting that they make money to run their company, to pay for servers, to pay for bandwidth, to pay for people to operate their servers and maintain their servers? How are you suggesting they raise money? Or, like, how would you raise money as a company? How would you make sure you can keep the lights on? I mean, doesn't uBlock block banner ads though too?
Many units.
Are they, Oni?
Bullets.
Are you paying for premium? They don't when you block an ad, they don't get money for that ad. That's not how that works. I mean, I pay for premium too. I mean, but Blood, say for example, like, okay, the next step forward, Blood, because they're easy to ignore, right? And they don't get the click through, those ads are cheap and they don't give you lots of money. So what's the next step?
Too many footsteps to reduce the numbers.
Okay, so your option, Michael, is getting, well, like, the reason is this, right? most users are going to choose ads that they have the ability to ignore the best, right? And those are the least profitable ads. Like, ads are useful when they sell a product. People wouldn't invest in advertising and pay lots of money to advertise their product if it didn't sell their product, right? And so if it's easy to ignore, it's not a very good ad, and it's not worth a lot of money. I kind of I don't think lots of people pay for customizable I think Discord, well, Ludroth, you can just go look at Discord. Discord's have you guys not seen the monetization on Discord recently? They are trying everything under the fucking sun to make their service not profitable, just equal. Actually, has Discord turned a profit yet? Someone go look up for me. Has Discord turned a profit yet? Or Discord's still negative? Like, that's the issue with Discord. And Discord is kind of having a similar issue to like YouTube, right? Where they've blown up now, and now they're trying to figure out, okay, how do we like make money, or even just make it, you know, equal? Same thing with Spotify too, right? Okay, so John, you're saying that like that I mean that fits with like a lot of different services, right? Like Costco does the same thing with their hot dogs. You know, they can be a loss leader in something to advertise their other products. So and that's probably, John, what it is right now, to be honest, too, right? I would not be surprised if they're actively losing money on YouTube. I would not remotely be surprised. Not net worth, Michael. No. We need to look at not net worth. Net worth is detached. Net worth is their valuation, right? We're looking at. Toothy, no. We're looking at their net, like their profit. Have they made money, or are they running at a loss? So I would say like it's Q2 right now. Go look at Discord's Q1 2025 profits. Yeah, we're not looking at gross revenue, we're looking at profits. Also, I didn't kill anything this run. Hold on, let me just go Google it real quickly too.
Savor it.
Oh, it's 2024? We'll just do 2024 Q4. Oh, are they not public? Are they not public at all? Huh. They can hide their... Is Discord not a private or Discord not public? It's not a public company, right? Yeah, it's not public. It's owned by... Who owns Discord? Oh, privately, like they're privately held. Okay, they're privately held, so they don't need to publicly disclose profits. Like they have stakeholders, but they're not something you can go like, they're not owned by like Microsoft. That's a public company, right? Yeah. But like you guys have seen, like compare YouTube or Discord to like Discord 5 years ago. They have like they're trying every avenue under the sun to monetize without being like invasive like ads. And they're like they keep adding more and more stuff, right? And there are that little ads now too that you can like dismiss for certain games. Really dark now? Shouldn't be any more than normal. There is like dynamic lighting from like Lumen and shit, so like if I go look at a bright light for a bit, it will... Like the fire? Yeah, looks fine to me. Nothing has changed. Sorry, it has like the fires will give you auto exposure essentially. Alright, let's go do some Mesa. But basically the point I'm making with YouTube, right, is like Yeah, sure, they might be past the point where they have any good graces left, but like for every user that essentially has an ad blocker and doesn't pay them anything, it makes them have to monetize the users who don't more to make up for that loss. And it creates a feedback loop, right? It does. Keegan, is that actually like according to their accounting books? I don't know the exact figures, call me Keegan, so I can't say if that's right or wrong, but that sounds insane, to be perfectly honest. Video hosting is a lot of money. Yeah, fact checker. I would have to go look at their actual statistics on Google. I would have to go look at their books, right? They're probably a company that just goes on their books. I am genuinely curious though. At this point, I'm curious if you're right, because like at that point, yeah, like if that's the case, it's just greed. No, like in my mind game shift, it's not profitable either, because like that's always been the problem with servicing videos is videos eat up bandwidth like no tomorrow, and that's expensive. You would probably need to go. I haven't talked to a tier. I think it's like, is it tier 3 or tier 1? I think it goes. I think the higher tiers, like tier 3, is a higher ISP, right? If I recall correctly, that's how it works. Essentially, for those unfamiliar, there's ISPs for your ISPs. Is it level 1 who's like a big one? Hold on. I think level 1 is a right one. No, but like there's basically there's ISPs for ISPs, and like the ISPs that we get service to generally do not charge us for bandwidth. That's not always the case when you start looking at bigger pictures, or like when you're a business servicing lots of customers across the world. Okay, cool. That's interesting. Then I'll take a look into that. If YouTube's profitable, then it's just great. They're trying to turn YouTube into a profit center. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you. Like, if they are already making lots of money and they're just wanting to make more money, then it's just corporate greed. If it's them trying to make sure that YouTube is profitable, it's a different story, right? It's contextual. Let's go M16. I mean, it's because at a certain point, right? Like, it's not really both though, right? Because like, if you're trying to make more money to make sure you can pay for the services you're providing, that's not greed, right? But if it's like, if you're past the point of making sure you can keep the lights on, you're covering your overhead, and like anything on top of that, it's just you being greedier and greedier, right? And there's a certain expectation, right? Is like corporations are for-profit companies, right? They should go for a certain level of profit. But like there's like a matrix, right, of like how greedy can, like how much you're going to squeeze in the name of that profit, right? Like I can't fault them for trying to pursue revenue, but pursuing revenue at all costs, right, that's where it gets really scummy. Game shit, I would say it actually probably is less on the profit margin itself and what you have to do to achieve that profit margin. I wouldn't say like saying a percentage is fine, because the percentage is contextual. It's more based on like the things you have to do. Like if you have to act unethically to get that percentage profit, that's the point where that profit margin is unethical, as opposed to like 10%'s fine, 15%'s unethical. I mean, to be perfectly transparent too, like, I'm not gonna show you guys my exact page. I mean, how'd it go? Like, I get like around between like 150K and 200K views a month, somewhere in that range. And depending, I mean, it probably depends more on watch time, to be honest. You guys know the length of my videos, right? The only outlier in my length of my videos is gonna be that one Forever Winter video. The long hour one. Oh, what the fuck are you? You don't belong here. What the hell are you doing here? Brawlers on my fucking... No. You don't belong here. Alright, we're good. What the hell were they doing here? I would say tipping's unethical. I don't think tipping's a good practice. Tipping's become too mainstream, right? Tipping was supposed to be like... Tipping was never supposed to be something that was supposed like to like replace income. Tipping was you going beyond, right? Like beyond the call of what you're supposed to provide, right? It should never been normalized. Yeah, like tipping shows you appreciate the service. It should not be mandatory for said service. But like even then, like, right, it should never be expected, right? Like when you make tips normal, when people expect tips, it becomes this like very perverse kind of relationship, right? But no, just pay servers living wages like everyone else.
Shit ton of action down there. We should have.
But no, yeah, going back, right? So like you guys know the length of my videos, right? And for the most part, like I average like between 150K and 200K views a month currently. And my videos are like usually like 10-20 minutes long. The hour-long video is different. I'll get into that in a second. But like I expect like around $500-ish, give or take 100 or two, like $500-700-ish a month, which is, to be quite frank about it, right, I am well below minimum wage for the hours I put in for that content. Now, I will say though, in like the periods around now, it's gotten better because like I've been busy and coasting, and I'm kind of seeing that the revenue is still persisting. It's not as good as it was, but it's persisting. And like weirdly enough, the hour-long video was great for an influx of cash. Like it put me up to like 1.2 or 1.3, but like the amount of time I spent working on that hour-long video, oh god. Not even close to minimum wage. That video, like last time I checked, like a couple weeks ago, right? That video made me about $1,000. That's the video itself. But I spent about like 200-300, like around 200 to 300 hours on that video. Oh yeah, it's also mental, right? It's not my, yeah, it's not my primary like source of income, right? But like that's kind of showing you, for example, too, like while YouTube pays out creators a lot, like yeah, until you make it big, you do not get compensated in an appropriate way. But it's fine, right? It shouldn't be like the expectation, right? It kind of just goes back to like I am very curious about YouTube's figures now. I'm gonna go check it out after the stream. Well, yeah, I mean, it's also just a problem too, right? When you have like, you can't really just start up a company that competes with YouTube, right? There's so many barriers and frictions in regards to getting people on board, and you're gonna run at a loss for a very long time, right? And when you lose big. In a way, you could actually frame YouTube as like too big to fail. All right. Oh god, Invincible Cyborg. Fred, no. curse you, Fred. Oh, I mean, Ludroth, you say it isn't that big, but like, you've seen some of my videos, right? It's big enough.
Ground. It won't make a difference.
Did I have any quests on here? Now let's keep playing. Same thing with Rolo's videos too. Like they're not gonna be million view channels, right? But like most like pretty consistent content creators, right, aren't going to be getting like more than multi-million view like streams. Like think of like Linus, right? Linus videos, he pumps out content consistently, right? But most of his videos don't break a mil or sit around a mil, right? It's just because they're so efficient at churning them out. And that because they get because they get a million views every stream or every like video, they can get consistent, you know, third-party money from like an advertiser and just go around YouTube's monetization. But there's a reason why they push merch all the time too, right? Like a big aspect, LTT or like Linus has always broken down occasionally, like their profit sources or like their money-making sources. And I think merch has always been a big profit, like a big area of their profit or revenue in regards to money. No, 100%, Michael. Like, that's what I'm saying. But in the grand scheme of things, Michael, like looking at my videos and looking at Linus's, his cadence is a lot higher, and he's only like pulling in 3-4 times more views than like say a big video of mine is, right? But like in the grand scheme of things, Linus is a huge creator, right? And I am small and insignificant, right? But the view differences aren't crazy. It's just the cadence, along with like just the consistency, right? The comparison is more to a sake of like providing you context in regards to when you make it big on YouTube, it's not really YouTube paying you lots more or you making tons more money on a YouTube video. It's that like you're starting to get offers from areas outside of YouTube and you're starting to be able to monetize outside of YouTube. Like Patreons and, you know, like merchandise or other stuff like that, right? Or, you know, private videos. Yeah, third-party sponsors like Linus has all the time. Like every video for them usually has a third-party sponsor. And like, you know, they're usually always like plugging merch. When you make it big on YouTube, it's not necessarily about YouTube paying you more. I mean, it is, don't get me wrong. It is about getting more efficient and making sure you have a good pipeline, but a lot of it's just getting the opportunities to more monetize your videos from other sources. Better start backing up, Ludroth. That's always a fun time. Friendly reminder in chat, if your SSD is getting old, back it the fuck up. I've always had good luck with Samsung, Ludroth. I'm not sure, I haven't looked at them in forever, but I've always like used Samsung SSDs and they've always been good for me.
Patience is a virtue.
Hey, Cyborgs. It's like their Evo series, I think, Clay, right? I've never had problems with those. The Samsung Evos. Yeah, I mean, like, when you're like a power user too, right? It's always gonna be hard to have long lives on your SSDs anyway. The good old, yeah, Western Digital. Agent, I would say it does depend on how much of a power user you are, right? I would say at 5 to 6 years, if you use your computer all of the time and you regularly like download files or do like large file moves, like installing games or just other things like that, I would make sure you have backups for like anything important on that SSD. 5 to 6 years of constant use, so yeah, it gets up there.
If you can stand the smell.
I had my only times I've had computers fail is from SSDs dying. And it is quick and abrupt, but like when my first SSD died, it wasn't instantaneously like most SSDs, but it started having like errors a lot, right? And eventually it wouldn't boot OS like after like a week. So like I know the signs now. Like if I start seeing issues in regards to Windows acting all glitchy or like having trouble booting, okay, time to fucking start migrating my SSD over if I still can. Or get a backup OS drive. Yeah, my main PC is all SSD. Well, my main PC is 2 SSDs. My streaming PC is a hard drive. Yeah, I don't have anything like super volatile Oni on my machines right now, so. Okay, yeah, Lujoth, if your boot drive is on your SSD and you're having like weird issues where you're having to pair Windows and you're having booting problems, go back up your files now or just get ready for the SSD to die. That was like the clear sign for me my SSD was dying. And like eventually one day it will not boot and you will not be able to repair it. That was like the death knell for mine. And like when I couldn't repair it, I tried reading from it when I got a new SSD with an OS on it. I couldn't read from it at all, basically. It was entirely dead at that point. That kind of like happened to me too, Ludroth. I would say just, yeah, like that's pretty par for the course with how it happened to me. For like a week or like a couple weeks it was doing that, and then it just one day when I replaced it, it just would never read from again. I mean, Michael, I would say, like, once you start considering RAID, you start getting into very technical, like, areas, and, like, you're a power user at that point, right? For the most part, for casual users, just having an extra hard drive or having a hard drive attached to your machine as a backup device is perfectly fine. You don't have to worry about RAID. Like, getting into RAID, like, if you like the technical stuff, RAID's really cool, don't get me wrong. I mean, super critical data, right? Like, if you were a business, yes. Like, if you were, yes, businesses use RAID. For the end consumer, though, like, RAID's overkill in most instances, right? You're better off just, like, literally having, like, if you have family photos you want to keep, right? You just have a NAS and a hard drive, right? Like, you store the photos on a hard drive on your machine, and you back them up to a NAS on a cycle, and there you go. And that's way simpler than setting up a fucking RAID. Clay, yeah, but like, at what level of like certainty will you be fine with, right? Do you need to have a RAID hard drive set up and then like a NAS and then like a cloud service? Like, how many failure points are you willing to go through? Like how safe do you need to be to basically be okay with like be okay with it? It's a personal thing. It changes person to person, right? Someone's never going to be happy with like enough security nets, right? Some people will be only fine with like 1 or 2. Some people will be okay with none, right? Some people are cavalier like that. How willing are you okay with like, you know, yeah. How much work do you want to put in, basically? Am I finally at a 50 cal? No way. I have finally blown through my stockpiles of 50 cal? I never thought I'd see the day. There was periods where I had like 5,000-6,000 of this, I believe. We gotta start farming your opens again. My god. Well, if that's the case, actually, let's do this. We're on a mission now. I can't believe I blew through all of my rounds of 50 cal. Oh, I was not paying attention at all. I guess doing multiple 1,000-round runs of 50 cal will do that to you. Never thought I'd see the day. Alright, we got our ammo, we have our meds. Think we're going to the trench. Sure, Clay, go ahead. Throw 'em in chat. Talking about Tarkov and the Neverwinter, what could be more appropriate for the stream? Now Michael's just being funny. Yeah, backing up your dad on the punch cards. Yeah, okay. What fucking year is it? You fiend. Oh, remind me about goons in Tarkov. The goons are just like the super fucking cracked Spec Ops guys, right? They're like the sniper bros from like the Raiders. Oh, we're not talking about like regular, we're talking about punch cards for like, so back in like the early days, right, of computers, like in the 70s and 80s, well, mainly probably the 70s, right? Like when you were doing computing, you would use like punch cards. Yeah, the computer punch cards. Yes, Ludroth, for programming and stuff. Like, yeah. Yeah, that was really long ago, yes. We're talking about the computer punch cards. If you were a Zoomer, I mean, I was not around for them. My dad worked with them, which is why I know about them. But just go Google like computer punch cards. Essentially, it's how you basically would input that and use that as essentially you would compile it, right? You would basically run your code on those cards. If I recall correctly, is how they worked. Yeah, I mean, Clay, I think your point around hunter killers, I don't think I've ever seen a single person who's played this game and thought hunter killers are in a good spot right now. So I think what you're currently feeling is absolutely right. Yeah, like hunter killers do not feel great. They need to feel more like hunters and not just like omniscient killers. Don't you say you like them, Ludroth. Don't you lie to me like this. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Oh no, 100%. Your open HK is like, the grabber is fine because it will just like end things immediately. The Euro HK is like a fucking fly. I don't know, Keegan. I still, don't get me wrong, I do not like the omniscience on any of them. I would take the grabber HK over the European HK any day. No? Because nothing is more annoying than having to kill European HKs over and over again, and they immediately come back a second later. Like a fly. I mean, that's a separate issue entirely, I feel like. Like, that's just how grabbers work. It's not really about their HK functionality, right? But because HK EODs are omniscient, like, they'll aggro from across the map, which no other unit can do, by the way. It's a special, like, you can immediately know when you have HKs, because you're suddenly getting just absolutely bodied by your open HKs across the map. And because they can shoot, like, you can, like, go ward away a grabber, or, like, essentially get a grabber to go chill out for a bit. I was here for killing Europans, and then I get cyborgs. Let me just kill Europans in peace. Leave me alone. I will leave you. I'm coming back later. I came here to get 50 cal ammo, and there's no 50 cal ammo here. I've been tricked. No.
As long as
Yeah, but like right now, Clay, the problem is like when the unit spawns on the map, they immediately just know exactly where you are and will start shooting you across the map. And they're the only unit that does that in the entire game, right? The unit that like a unit that can like aggro to you that far away. And it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense too, Clay, because like if you think about it, if the HKs know where you are, what's stopping like anyone else from getting that feed also, right? Of knowing exactly where you are and turning on you and killing you. I was using a Pipashaw. PPSH, Pipashaw. All right, let's run it back and hopefully get some honest to God regular Europans here. They don't spawn far away, and like the EOD HKs don't matter anyway. It's like a horsefly, right? If you've never had a horsefly buzzing around your head, it is the most annoying thing ever, and like that's how I feel with EOD HKs.
I hate the surface.
Yeah, I think the quests are very underbaked right now. They're very placeholdery. I mean, there's Bunko's quest line, right, Clay? Bunko's quest line gets you the railgun parts, essentially. I mean, I would say, Clay, it is important to note, just because Tarkov has pioneered the way, doesn't mean it needs to copy Tarkov verbatim. There's plenty of room for it doesn't need to be a Tarkov with a grimdark theme. It can be like it can take things from Tarkov and mold them in different ways. It doesn't need to be a carbon copy. 100% it makes sense, right? That's why Tarkov does those things, right? That's what they did, very simple logical things with their systems. And like Clay, the way I would phrase it, right, is you are asking these things because it feels like to me like there is a am I hurt? Oh, I think I had grenades on. That's why I wasn't able to heal. 8 grenades. But like no, not drunk. Oh, I'm drunk. Yeah, drunk. Fair enough. Just shooting. What are you guys doing down there? This is the one I will say one big pain point too of not being able to see your bars on No HUD. Just never know what consumable you have active. Okay. So like actually what I'll say, Clay, is this. Like the overall kind of like theme I'm getting here is right is like you have this feeling that there's like overall lack of like deep systems and progression. Everything like the way I feel like you're phrasing things is like lots of items in the game to you are very superficial and like skin deep, which 100% I agree with, right? And it just means that like they need to work on systems that actually have some depth to them and feel more than just like a quest, right? If this was an NTW, it would be that bad? I used the wrong 50 cal sniper rifle, that's why. What did we learn? 9mm sucks, and the GM6 sucks. Let's go back. We're gonna go use the actual good sniper rifle. Come here, you. Where are you? Not you. You. My beautiful. I need to buy 50 cal. This is abhorrent. Can't believe I'm buying 50 cal. I mean, loot drop, it's just like the old days, right? Me doing plug pull and then flaming the GM6. It deserves it. Actually, let me do this too. Europa. Let's do the actual tried and true old way of doing this. Let's talk to Grillo. Grillo, baby, please forgive me. How'd you like 60 schematics? These actually, are these worth a lot? Oh, sort of. Nice. Let's bring an actual, like, silence nice gun, too. We should just run Vepper, actually. Vepper probably works out pretty well. Oh, is this, like, the shitty one? I need to get the bigger one. No, there we go, restore. There we go. We'll bring like 100 more. And go over to 50 cal. Bring in some meds. Should be good enough. We get an elevator. Perfect. Lucia, that is fair. It's not ragey over here trying to sabotage me constantly by saying the VKS is god tier. I don't know, Clay. I've always been. I would love. Ragey, what do you mean no reason? The guy just uses the VKS to sabotage people and pushes it upon me. The VKS is god awful. And he knows it too. He's laughing. He's laughing right now. Anyway, no, Clay, that is like you know, at this point, right? Everyone is so familiar with like the yellow signifier for like climb here, right? Like a visual indicator cue, yeah. Or UI elements. What do you mean, your GM6? Look how nice the scope is. The scope is beautiful. Ignore my inability to shoot, though. Yeah, that's more on me. Ah, so much better. Don't look at the double bipod. Just ignore it. Like, look, that is just for extra stability. Don't critique the double bipod. Did my game just crash? Okay, all right. Maybe the okay, all right. Maybe. All right, hold on. Actually, bear with me here. Bear with me. Bear with me. The NTW is so much more powerful than the GM6, it can crash your game. GM6 believers in shambles right now. I am actually gonna run it back too. I'm very curious that if that is a GM6 issue, or sorry, an NTW issue. Baiting you? Hold on, I'm actually curious at this point. I mean, the double bipod's beautiful. Have you ever been shooting and used a single bipod and you're like, this isn't stable enough? Introducing the double bipod, the quad pod. Yeah, I mean, if the crashing happened, it wasn't apparently me just reloading the gun. It's beautiful. It does actually have 3. You are right. It has one that's not deployed. It actually, this is the tripod, like, or actually, is it Sept 6? Sept is 6, right? You have bi, tri, quad, pent is for 5. Is it Sept 6? Is Sept 6 or 8? Hex is 6? Septipod is 8 or wait, hold on. So Sept is for 7. Sept is for 6. So yeah, so we're looking for so hexapod, hexpod, Sept is 7. Okay. Hex. So we're looking at hexpod probably, right? Introducing the hexapod for when stability is not enough. I guess octopod would be 8. So yeah, hexapod and then septipod is 7. Yeah, okay. Yeah, have you ever felt so unstable that you needed 6 points of contact on the ground? Hi guys. No. I was saying hello.
Everyone for themselves.
Absolutely beautiful. I feel so stable. Hold on. Oh man, look at that stability. It's perfect. Look how stable this is. There's literally no sway at all. It's beautiful. Oh yeah, that's like, yeah, the Tarkov beam guns. For when you're truly bored and just want to have a fun time.
We decide what happens next.
I kill 4 Europans with headshots, I get HKs? Keegan. This is... Have you guys noticed how much better this is going now, as opposed to the casual shitty GM6 with only a bipod? At the very least, the NTW is 3 times better than the GM6. It looks cooler? It looks cooler? Blood, I think you have, between the Rat King and the other GM6, I think you have just poor taste, Blood. Exceptionally poor taste. Easy peasy. Michael understands. I'm pretty sure this is the Halo sniper, or rather, if it was designed after Halo, it was definitely influenced by Halo. It's South African, right? Look how crisp this is. Just popping heads left and right. Hold on, reloading. Truce. Okay, so it's before Halo, okay. Hello. They cannot understand the power of the NTW, the EODs. Go away. No, not you. Oh, what a shot. Door closing. You remember how bad the GM6 was like 10 minutes ago? Look how powerful the NTW is.
Nail them down and we can break out.
This is just, you want, Art, have you ever felt burdened by choice with the GM6? You didn't know what scope to use? Well, I have great news for you, Art. This scope comes bespoke to the NTW. It's on there all the time. Absolutely, yeah, 100%, absolutely divide. Same with the Solo 320mm, that's why it's also a great gun. As opposed to the very shitty GM6.
Don't miss. Make every shot count.
Would you rather have a gun perfectly tuned for the one scope it has, or a gun that has lots of scopes where they're all mediocre? I mean, in college I did IT work, right? But like part of the IT work was also selling shit. So no, I do have a salesperson persona that I can throw on. Have you ever wanted to Naruto run while carrying your gun, Ludroth? Introducing the carry handle. But can you Naruto run with your GM6? It doesn't have a carry handle. It's gonna be hard to hold with only one hand. We don't need to. Lil Papa, is it the 20mm variant or the 50 cal variant? Because I know there is a 20mm variant, I'm pretty sure, right?
Remember, we're already dead.
Oh, interesting. There is no 20mm or 50 BMG variant in IRL. What's the difference? What's the weight of a Barrett? I'd probably place it somewhere between the Barrett and that one you're just talking about. We haven't ran Bagman yet. Bagman time. Which means, do we have toys? We don't have enough toys. Yeah, so like it's somewhere between probably that and then like the 50 cal variant. So like say like 30, 35 pounds, maybe 40 pounds at most. But probably like I would say 30. I was gonna throw out a number called 35. We'll say 35. Better yet, we'll just do some nice unit in kilograms. Or actually no, you know what we should do? Everyone, we need to like go petition Fundog to change the weights of all things in the game to be stones. Any British people in chat? Let's get some stones. Get some in-game stone weights. And you understand, Art, like, yeah, everything should be done in stones. And if you don't know what a stone is, congratulations, you're a normal human. I think weights, like, on a game sense, Lil Papa, well, I will say, Lil Papa, if your frustration comes from like that weight feels kind of like weird, I agree. I'm not Yeah, I do agree with you. Like, seeing you carrying an actual ton is very weird. It would probably just be rebalancing inventory and all that good stuff. Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely some thoughts to be had there. I haven't thought about it at all, so I don't have like a lot of... Hold on. British weight stone. So 1 stone is 14 pounds. Yeah, 14 pounds makes a stone. So it's not even, you can't even call it a dozen too, right? It's not something that would make maybe some sort of sense, it's just 14 pounds. Let's do RPK. $762, let's go to vendors, Aramaki. It doesn't even round off nicely. Welcome to Imperial Measurements, Ludroth. Enjoy your stay. That's not the right RPK magazine size. Ah, whatever, it'll work. Think we're good? All right.
Always looks different.
Stones, feet, miles. Gallons.
Shred 'em fast.
Heinz quarts.
Boom.
Oh, this is like a stock RPK. I'm down. I actually, I do genuinely think that, like, while I want mods for guns, like, it's so much easier, I feel, to make a gun feel impactful when we can control exactly, like, how it feels in a mode like this. Dram? I never heard of that one. That's new to me. Cyborgs? Maybe come back. Where are you? I can't remember the actual justification for Fahrenheit. Don't get all metric in here. Me. Hey, all I'm saying, Lujoth, is you're going to be very sorry when the British get on their second Imperial kick.
Brought enough
Summon the Royal Navy, or what's left of it. I missed.
We're on the clock, people. Kill them quick.
Well, I have great news, Ludroth. I think the majority of tea now, like, they don't own the colonies that produce tea anymore. So it's not like you're like spitting in the face of British businesses by throwing your tea into the into your local harbor. I mean, Michael, it makes sense to me, right? What's so hard to comprehend? You know what I'm hearing here is that at this point in time, each faction should have their own measurement unit. Because for 3 giant super factions, I can, or try, let's just say 2. Eurasian and Europa, right? I can both see them being petty bitches and just doing their own measurement systems.
That would save the day. That's for sure.
We don't need your European measurements in Eurasia. Languages would be hard. I mean, you probably just base it off like actual languages right now, right? Like combinations of different like languages, essentially. Or you could have like, if they have AIs, right, they could probably just like have a chip and like have it automatically translate what they're saying. Or rather have an earpiece which translates what they're hearing into the language they understand. That can be solved by tech, I feel like. 100% Little Papa. You go off your own units to stop reverse engineering. And you also do it because if they steal your production facilities, your production facilities will be tooled in your own and your measurements, right? And not their measurements. It's so genius. I think it's too muffled, Ragey. It's really hard to understand them. You could probably like decipher it if you really tried, but it's really hard to decipher just from like passive hearing. "24-hour clock? John, get out of here. 24-hour clock's not accurate. For Europa, it's like you have Eurasia using the actual, like, they don't, Eurasia doesn't have leap days. They do 23 point whatever, like, hour days. "100% Duffs, that's exactly what it is. They got their measurements mixed up."
We're on the clock, people. Kill them quick.
Ludroth, it's because, if I recall correctly, people use Kelvin because when you have the freezing temperature of water be 0, it makes math a bitch. Because naturally, like, yeah. If I recall correctly, that's one of the elements, right? Is it's like, when you have when your prime numbers, important numbers be 0, it makes math annoying.
A damn close call on a day of close calls.
12 a.m. is midnight. Oh yeah, no, sorry, yeah, no, John, you're right, yeah, 100%, yeah, 0 is absolute 0, yeah, that's what it is. And so you can, like, yeah. The last time I ever used Kelvin was, like, in middle school chemistry, I think, or bio, or whatever it was, yeah. It's been a while. But yeah, okay, yeah, 0 Kelvin means there's no energy, which is impossible to have. You can't have anything basically have 0 energy. I'm using my grenades. Alright. I think it's time to see if we can redeem Stairway by a night shift. Let's do a scav girl. Let's be quick. Let's be stealthy and quick here. No meds, no nothing. The only thing signal grenades do is when they're active, if you kill the entire squad, they essentially, you don't lose rep.
Don't leave anything on the cutting room floor. Christmas.
No, I'm sorry. Run away. Get her out the corner. Am I safe? No. Self-defense.
Christmas.
So, Scav Girl, what do you do in your spare time? I collect heads. What? Where the fuck did that come from? Was that there the entire time? No, not really, Ragey. Was that there the entire time and it was just not moving? Where the hell did that come from? Stealth kills aren't very useful because, like, generally speaking, when you're stealth killing someone, it's a long animation that puts you like right in front of the enemy squad, and I think it makes noise too. So essentially, it's just like you're asking to get basically fire squatted.
Don't leave anything on the cutting room floor.
It's not really that useful. If there was more instances of individual, like, lone soldiers, sure. But, like, because it does it to a squad and the squad notices, it doesn't work very well. Man, you don't even get saved by iframes either. Ooh. Not this time.
Bad luck today.
I am speed. Sorry, I am sped. I am sped. Me go fast. You should feel bad. You know what you should do, Ragey? You should go do some penance by playing 5 gunhead runs, all with a VKS. And then a Hail Mary. Oh, that's interesting, Michael. I do think, Clay, like, in regards to, I just saw your muffler comment, like, something has to be done about suppressors, right? I can't think of, in the current iteration, I just cannot think of ways of making suppressors just any bit nuanced at all, right? You could do it from a gun approach, but considering the guns they have are so already modular, you would have to go out and, like, cut out a lot of the guns to make that work. So, like, the way I kind of see it is that you just add a system that interacts with silencers and you add some more nuance to silencers, right? Essentially, you add a stat to each gun that gives it a sound signature, right? And you have silencers affect that sound signature. And what you do is you basically have an overlay on maps that you can't see as a scavenger. That's essentially a heat map for sound. And as things are essentially shooting or doing things in the area and adding to that heat map, whenever you shoot your gun, it compares against that value for auditory processing reasons. Now, that is probably pretty complex, and finding a method of making sure that's performative is probably hard. But, like, I feel like unless you want to go back and gut guns, you kind of need to have, like, a scenario like that. You could just do it too. Like, you can make it a simpler method too by just taking guns and making them directly affect the radius of the sound signature. The only problem though is that doesn't account into ambient noise, but it is a much simpler system. But like, no matter what, if you have a giant battle raging, if enemies can hear you shoot your small 50 caliber gun when mechs are firing overhead, it's gonna feel weird. .7 by 55 is basically like a snub 50 BMG. Think of, like, what's it called, that gun in Tarkov, the big boy gun. There's a gun that basically uses that caliber in Tarkov, right? What's it called?
Another day, another dollar.
I don't think it's that hard, but Michael, considering we already have performance issues, I'm always trying to think of solutions that are performative. No, what's it called? Hold on. Hold on. I'll find it real quick. Or not, because Tarkov has fucking 500 guns. Where are you? It's not, I don't think it's exactly called a VKS. The Ash 12, there we go. Yeah, the Ash 12. Yeah, no, the Ash 12, hold on, this gun. This one right here, the Ash 12. But like that magazine there, I think that's is that the 10 rounder or 20 round, like 20 rounder? Like I think this is only the 10 rounder, right? This only fits 10 rounds. It's a big beefy caliber. Yeah, cool pop. It's like, it's for use for special services, right? Like the whole theory behind it is like it's got insane stopping power, but it won't overpen because it's a basically, it's like if you scaled up a pistol caliber, right? And made it beefy. It's not supposed to pen things, it's supposed to basically knock things down and kill them. And not go through walls. Alright. We haven't done elephant day at all, actually. Time for some elephant. Yeah, and they're big magazines too, right? Even the 10 rounders are pretty big. And I'm presumably heavy when they're full. You're never gonna get like a 45 rounder, really. I will say, it would be cool at some point if we ever see, like for the LMGs, like ways of having them get fed by their containers. Like, as opposed to bringing an ammunition, like loose ammunition inside of your bag, you would put like an LMG crate of ammo inside of your large slot and essentially just have that get fed to your gun. And that could be a benefit of LMGs, is they can have like essentially insanely large magazines based off their backpack. Like Predator vibes, right? With the minigun. Yeah, unfortunately, unless they make 12.7mm really powerful, it's always gonna be awful. Yeah, it's just something I'm conscious about, right? When I'm just like thinking of systems like this. It won't stop me from just like suggesting it, but I'm always thinking of like what sounds or what sounds the most performative in my mind, right? And like compromises along the way if like you need a smaller implementation, or you want something that might be more performative rather. SVD time? SVD? Maybe? Yeah. My thumbnails are so fucked. I probably should delete all of these and just try them again, to be honest, recreate them. I moved my save file out for backup purposes, and like, the cloud file for saves did not restore the thumbnails, so now the thumbnails are just like entirely just fucked. 100% a me issue though, right? Because I fucked with the actual save file. All right. 54R, where are you? Are you not in a rifle round? I'm always... Do I not actually have 54R? Am I just blind? No, I am just blind. I don't know why I just cannot see. Is it because like this is the same color as 762? That's why. I think it's... Yeah, it's a very similar layout to this. It's not me, okay? It's not my fault. Alright, we're good. They color code most of them, but then the 762 and the 54R are the same color. I mean, they are the same caliber, just longer and beefier. No, it's the upgraded one. VKS time. 100% art. And that could be maybe they're like the reason why you can't reload it right now is maybe that's supposed to be painless, right? Maybe it reloads from a large item slot and they don't have that implemented yet. That could be a reason why, for example, you can't reload painless. It has to be like it might be like a very basic magazine system, as opposed to having magazines for most guns. The only guns you have to care about magazines for are going to be like items like painless, right? Where you reload from your large item slot. That's a way of doing it too, Art, for sure. And that way too, you don't have the issues of like running a animation or line or a feed from the slot itself to the weapon. It just reloads from there. Because naturally having like a chain link going from your backpack to the weapon is, I imagine, a nightmare animation-wise or implementation-wise. So like ignoring that entirely for like painless would be a good solution too. Get him, boys. Fuck that sniper up. Get him. Not the sniper, though. The sniper's innocent. Oh, maybe. Yeah. Oh, no, John, it's not... What I'm describing is not a magazine system like Tarkov. It's not like that. So think of it this way, right? it's not something that really asks you to do anything as opposed to just purchase an item, right? So imagine this, you buy a painless magazine, John, and you just slot it into a large slot, and that's your ammo for painless. That's your reload for painless. So it doesn't require you to put ammo inside of it. It's literally just a plug and play, right? You buy it, and it's an ammo container for painless. It's a very like unintrusive way of doing a magazine, right?
Nothing to be done.
Yeah, like a one-use battery, right? It's like it's something you use and expend, and it's gone. It's not like you refill it. To refill it, you go buy a new one. Yeah. Well, it's not the gun, right? It's just the magazine, right? It's a single feed magazine. Well, I mean, you could, yeah, or for example, you could bring in a bagman with the rack, and like, he brings in 8 magazines for painless. And like, there's real cost to that, right? Because like, if he brings in the rack with painless, right, he can't really carry much inside of his one container, right? It's a trade-off. I think it's actually an interesting idea too, and maybe you can make LMGs like use that system potentially. And you can store different ammo types in those containers too. I think it's an interesting way of doing magazines that don't really involve you ever having to deal with magazines. And it also creates a bit more nuance too, with like using your, like right now, large item slots are really just for picking up loot. You can bring equipment in, but none of the equipment really feels necessary outside of the tac cam occasionally. But like if you're using your large item slots for like actual ammo too, it creates some situations, right, where like if you're playing Bagman, right, and you bring in the rack with lots of ammo, well, you know, either you use the ammo or you can't pick up loot. No, I like it. It's a cool idea. It's a magazine system without asking players to actually engage with magazines. Because magazines get tedious very quickly in Tarkov. Did I consume my cigarettes by accident? Well, time to go get regular cigarettes then, or more cigarettes. Well, like, essentially, it wouldn't be belt fed, Michael, or it wouldn't be belt fed in the conditional or the traditional sense. It wouldn't be a, like, for example, the magazine for painless, you would just pull out painless from your backpack and then reload painless from your backpack, right? You wouldn't have a feed from the backpack to painless, because once again, that's a nightmare in my opinion to do animations for and syncing for, right? That feels like it asks for a lot of work, which probably is not necessary. And for like LMGs, you could do the same system perhaps, but just have it like maybe a storage area on the front of the player perhaps. Like a standardized area to like get rid of the fact that there's so many different slots and different, like imagine for example the rack, right? If the belt feed could come from any slot on the rack, that creates a lot of different issues, right? So as part of the reload, it could just move the slot on your back to a pre-configured spot on your front or side to feed from. So you could have LMGs load that way too, perhaps. Or maybe that'd be the main way LMGs reload, perhaps. I don't know.
Too many footsteps. I need to reduce the noise.
Well, it's always the downside of No HUD, right? Just never knowing what consumer you're actually taking. Give cigarettes, please. I said cigarettes. I mean, to be fair, we have never seen anyone smoke a cigarette in game. We've only heard the chomping noises of Lordos. I wonder, do all these guys work as ways of... Can I give cigarettes to this guy? Hold on, let me just do a... Let's see if I have cigarettes on me. I don't believe you. It's all a lie. Yeah, no cigs yet so far. Ah. All right, time for murder, I guess then. Don't you worry, my pal. Wait, where'd he go? Oh, I guess he's over there. Let's go get some cigarettes for our sick friend. Yes, gunhead is Europa, correct. Construction robot for Europa that got repurposed to be military.
Triggers. We have to hold fast.
Where the hell are you guys going? What? That wasn't a sync kill? Got robbed. Sigs! Alright, guy. I'm here to save you. Huh, alright. I'm guessing you count for needing cigarettes? Where do they go? Does that count? Hold on here. Oh, I don't even have that quest. I I got whispers confused with giving cigarettes. Never mind. You don't need cigarettes, you're sick. I need to rescue civilians. Civilians, got it.
They have arrived. We have to endure.
Yeah, I think just using the VKS in general is hard, Reiji. I don't think you're choosing the easy path when you use the VKS. What? I'm using a silencer. Why do you guys care? No, go away. Exo, no. Don't you do it, Exo. Oh, God. Don't bite me. No, no, no. Just keep running. Just keep running. You know, this, flashlight in the front, it's not great. Hold on. I'm missing. Shotgun time. Good? Good. Because Gunhead is faster than Bagman, yeah.
A couple dozen more.
Because he can't heal, he gets a lot of extra benefits over Bagman. Oh god. Little tippy taps. Little tippy taps. Is it not in your computer, Lutroth? I would hope your RAM would be in your computer. Yeah, I kind of, in a way, I mean, I don't think they're ever going to do this. I kind of do hope they get rid of the surplus guns eventually. Or just rework them to be scav guns. I also do think that, like, the auto shotty should be, like, insanely rare. They're just way too powerful and trivializing way too many fights. Ah, no mechs today. This is nice. This is nice and peaceful. So very calm. You know, there's a map in the game right now that makes me think these jerry cans are loot. I am being actively misled right now. And these propane canisters, we could have such a good grill out right now. But no, I can't loot them.
They have arrived. We have.
Empty bags or empty containers are still useful. This is not a good idea. Serpentine! Serpentine! I'm on meds.
Our luck will change. Now we have to survive. They have arrived. We have to win.
Oh, Bobby, just a little drunk. Ooh. No, I'm sorry, don't firing squad me. You know what this scope reminds me of? The GM6. And how awful it is. There we go. Oh, hey. I much prefer the bespoke scope for the SVD. Alright. I need more loot. Bodies. Don't mind me. Oh, hey guys. Oh god, a shotgun! What the? He might be invulnerable. It might be wise to ignore him.
In good time and bad, the city shows its true face.
Alright, I think we're good. Quite an eventful run. What's going on over here? Things getting bullied by medium mechs? Who are you? Officer? Alright, time to leave. That's pretty eventful. Plenty of quests done, plenty of loot. Character management and Grillo. Let's see here. These scavs are so silent, my god. I don't know, man. I'm not... What cigarette are you referring to? Here's Grillo. Three guys next to the wall. Oh, this guy. That is very clearly one of those toy cigarettes, right? The candy cigarettes or the toy cigarettes you would use to give kids when they're younger to train them to be cigarette smokers when they're older. Very clearly one of those. Do you see smoke? I don't see smoke. That's very clearly just a candy cigarette or a toy cigarette. You hear the phrase, Michael, when there's smoke, there's fire? Well, the opposite's true too. When there's no smoke, there's no fire. That's 100% true. Can't be disproven. Don't try. I'm definitely being genuine right now. Alright. Well, I think we have Captain Chin on here still. So we blew up the helicopter, which is actually not in here, though. Interesting. Let's do a cemetery. But let's do a different cemetery. Let's do a Rust in Peace cemetery. Rust in Peace and the other fun one, which I believe is from Europa. Yeah, Alpha Threat. Which means we're going over to Bagmad. We're gonna be going over to, yeah, this one. Perfect. Nothing can go wrong here. We're gonna jump for good measure too. Meds, ammo. Yeah, should be good. Lordos is a fucking fiend with cigarettes. They should give Lordos a rep meter, and the rep meter raises and lowers depending on how many cigarettes you give him. And like if you don't give Lordos cigarettes for long enough, he gets really bitchy. You like whenever you get back to the innards, he starts yelling at you. like an abusive husband. Where's my cigarettes, honey? You get to like Lordos level meter like negative 100 from never getting him cigarettes. He gets really bitchy and just wipes you. You give Lordos a tank top. What if we use video games to explore domestic abuse? God, it's so chaotic here already. The plastic chair is right there. Hold on, we're occupado. I win. Just go ahead and close this door. Thank you, Mr. Deceased corpse. You're blocking the way, which is very helpful. Well, does it? Thanks. I am currently enjoying the blocked off pathway we have here. I don't think so, considering the shield officer seems to use a lot of their tech. They might be old tech themselves or older tech, but like, it does look like shield officers use a lot of their tech. So it could just be like not premium tech too, right? Like if the shield officer is the officer of the Orgamex could just be the foot soldiers, so they don't have as premium as gear. Good old plastic chair. Launch me. I know you could do it if I try harder. Wait, hold on here. You have physics, but not bullet physics? Do grenade launchers affect you? Okay, grenade launchers do have physics, okay. Wait, I'm curious. This might kill me. Yeah, I didn't really do much. Why do these guys get the coolest fucking guns that we can't use? Hold on here. 100%. I did KFC. I wanted to see if it would launch us to the moon. Hold on, I need to find a shield officer we can kill, or a shield guy we can kill in the open. Where's this gun at? They have the fucking coolest RPKs that we can't get. And it makes me sad as shit. Where are they at? Is that one of them? There he is.
Shred them fast so we can move on.
I need to kill him in a spot where it's easy. Like, you see his RPK, he's got like a long-ass fucking metal bayonet on it, dude. That's so fucking cool and like grimdark. Like, it's like... It fits the vibe so much more than the... Hold on. I don't have a flashlight on either of these guns, so I needed him to die in the light. I need you to die in a place where we can see your gun. Close enough. I guess it wasn't. I can't see shit right now. We'll find a new one. It's not even, it just has a custom attachment that has a bayonet on it, right? Like a really gnarly looking bayonet. So it's more like bayonets when. There we go. Wait, did it despawn actually? Are they despawning the gun now? There was a period where you could pick them up. Are they despawning them now? Or are they just getting blown away by the grenade launcher? I don't see them around. Oh no, is it there? Oh, they're replacing it with like a stock destroyed gun skin. Oh, so you can't see it without probably picking it up, I imagine. Oh well, it's like an RPK, like a stock RPK with a very... You're calling it? You're wrong. You're very much wrong. You're more than 10% wrong, which is unforgivable. Absolutely unforgivable. Close enough. Wait, what? They probably really need to fix this. This is so derpy. Hold on, this is great actually. Doom guy. What if Doom guy had a limp?
Shred them fast.
Hold on, you can see it. So yeah, you can see that it's like an RPK with a bayonet on it. It looks fucking sick. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good. I didn't see you guys there. Get to cover! Uh-oh. Oh god. Oh god. I forgot there's a squad that spawns there too. We got a quest stat at least. The Fro! Alright. That's gonna be it today. That's gonna be it today for everyone. English is so fucking hard right now. That's it for today. There we go. English is easy. I'll see you guys again on Wednesday. Take it easy. New Discord. It's been around for a couple weeks now. It's down in the description below for YouTube, and you can do a command, just ! Discord and Twitch chat. Come hang out. You can ask me questions there. I'll answer like almost all the time when I'm awake. Other than that, take it easy. See you guys Wednesday. Bye all, and have a good one.